What if I told you someone bought 3 pieces of Cartier jewelry for less than the price of a pizza? Meet Cartier, founded in Paris in 1847 by Louis-François Cartier. It is one of the most prestigious luxury jewelry and watchmaking houses in the world. From crafting tiaras for European royalty to creating the iconic Panthère and Trinity collections, Cartier has always meant one thing: unapologetic luxury. And guess what? They're still very much rolling with boutiques in over 200 countries today. Now, back to this egg.
Where did you acquire these?
Up an online auction, probably 9 years ago, 10 years ago.
Wow.
It's been a while.
And do you recall what you paid for the egg?
Not much.
A 1977 limited edition Easter egg, number 8 out of just 25 ever made. That's not rare. That's exclusive. Crafted in sterling silver with 18-karat yellow gold accents, it features an intricate foliate concentric design and a seamless hinge. Open it up and surprise! A hand-enameled frog sits inside, surrounded by amethyst flowers carved in Idar Oberstein, Germany, and coral flowers crafted in Italy. 3 countries, 1 tiny egg, pure Cartier.
If you were to see an item like this come to auction, you could reasonably anticipate an auction estimate of $1,000 to $2,000 just for the 1 egg.
Awesome.
Fast forward to 2026, with rising demand for vintage Cartier collectibles and limited edition pieces, a single egg today could realistically fetch $2,500 to $4,500. All 3 together? Potentially $12,000 plus as a complete set.
I was looking at an auction catalog in Atlanta and I saw this egg, and so I thought I would go and check it out. And I couldn't go to the auction, so I called in a phone bid and it went over my bid really quickly, so I hung up the phone and I was really upset, and my husband said, "Why don't you call back and see what it went for?" And so I did, and they told me, and he said, why don't you see if you can buy it? I called the lady. She said, well, sometimes people get caught up in the moment and they're kind of in remorse that they bought it. And so she asked the guy, and he did. And so I got to buy it for what he bought it for.
And may I ask how much you paid for it?
Yes, $15,000.
Spending $15,000 on what you hope is a Fabergé egg sounds like the beginning of an incredible treasure story. Unfortunately, this one turned into an expensive lesson. The beautifully enameled egg certainly looked convincing. It even carried Fabergé-style hallmarks and featured precious materials, including diamonds. At first glance, it had all the ingredients of an imperial masterpiece. But for experienced experts, the small details told a very different story. Authentic Fabergé creations were crafted with extraordinary precision. Every decorative element was individually hand-finished, giving each piece remarkable depth and character. This egg, however, revealed signs of modern production. Many of its decorative patterns had been formed from molds, rather than painstakingly carved by hand, and several design elements came from different historical styles that never would have appeared together on a genuine Fabergé piece. Even the hallmarks proved deceptive. Rather than confirming authenticity, they were intentionally added to imitate the famous jeweler's work. High-quality reproductions created to resemble the originals. Ironically, the craftsmanship itself wasn't the problem. The egg was beautifully made and still contained genuine materials, making it an attractive collectible in its own right. But without authentic Fabergé origins, its value dropped dramatically.
You told me you paid $15,000 for it.
Yeah.
I would say that a realistic auction estimate or value for this today would be between about $3,000 and $4,000.
Okay.
If it were real Fabergé,
ridiculous.
it would be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a great item, but I'm just sorry to tell you it's not right.
Okay.
All right, so thank you very much
so
for bringing it in.
I can put my husband's ashes in there one day.
You can, but it just won't be Fabergé.
Okay.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This came down through my father's side of the family. My great-great-grandfather was one of the original Muller Quartet members, and they played for the Duke of Brunswick, played all over Germany, and then in the 1840s, they started expanding their repertoire a bit and going throughout Europe. They were invited to play for the Tsar of Russia in 1845. They played for Tsar Nicholas I, and this was a gift that they received from Tsar Nicholas I.
Whether or not every detail of that story can be fully documented, the egg itself is undeniably authentic. Experts identified it as a mid-19th century creation from the prestigious Imperial Porcelain Factory in St. Petersburg, the workshop responsible for producing luxury porcelain for the Russian royal court. Unlike the jeweled Fabergé eggs that would become famous decades later, this earlier Imperial Easter egg showcases elegance through delicate craftsmanship. Its finely hand-painted religious image, rich gilded decoration, and polished gold accents reflect the refined artistic standards of Imperial Russia. A decorative silk ribbon also survives, a feature commonly found on ceremonial Easter gifts of the period. One intriguing mystery remains. The saint portrayed on the front is believed to be Saint Alexandra, but the identifying inscription normally painted on similar eggs is missing, leaving historians with one unanswered question.
Well, at auction today, I would expect that this would bring around $8,000.
It's amazing. That is amazing.
My grandma had given me this. She got it from her mother-in-law, who owned a restaurant in Bremen, Germany. And after the war, she would have people come in and just want to trade things for food. They just needed food more than they needed their things. She had acquired a lot of things over the years at that restaurant, and this was one of them.
At first glance, this looks like a beautifully decorated silver egg, but it's actually a treasured Easter gift from Imperial Russia. These ornate eggs were traditionally exchanged during Russian Orthodox Easter as symbols of faith, renewal, and the celebration of Christ's resurrection. This particular example was crafted around the 1870s by the legendary House of Klebnikov, one of the Russian Empire's most prestigious jewelry firms. As an official imperial court jeweler, Klebnikov earned a reputation for exceptional silverwork and vibrant enamel creations that rivaled the finest luxury workshops of the era. The egg is made from silver covered with colorful champlevé enamel, while its interior is finished with a rich gilt coating to help protect the silver. Hidden inside are authentic Russian hallmarks, including the 88 silver standard used throughout Imperial Russia, along with Moscow assay marks and the maker's initials, details that confirm both its authenticity and its remarkable craftsmanship. Its journey is just as fascinating as its design.
I would put an auction estimate of about $2,000 to $3,000 on it, and I think that's conservative.
Wow.
I was visiting in New York and we went to an antique shop, saw this and loved it. He said it was Fabergé eggs, which I was very leery of because I sort of thought no. And it was in the early 80s. We bought it for between $2,500 and $3,000.
The pendant collection is made up of miniature Russian enamel eggs, inspired by the long-standing Easter tradition of exchanging eggs as symbols of hope and new life. While Fabergé made the world's most famous examples, many talented Russian jewelers also created elegant enamel eggs for the growing luxury market before the Russian Revolution. After carefully examining the hallmarks, the appraiser confirmed that every egg was genuinely Russian, but none were crafted by Fabergé. Even so, several pendants stood out for their exceptional quality. Some feature colorful enamel work, tiny gemstones, and even Imperial Russian symbols, making the necklace an outstanding collection in its own right.
This necklace, if you had to go replace it, you're looking at somewhere in the $6,000 to $8,000 range.
Okay.
You know?
Very
good. Now, if it were Fabergé,
they'd be
quite a bit more. Yeah, you'd be looking more like $15,000 to $20,000.
I believe it was my grandma's, maybe my great-grandma's. They were very poor, so
they had to work with what they could find.
Okay.
Created during the 1950s or early 1960s by the celebrated New York jewelry company Delizza and Elster, better known to collectors as D&E, this spectacular bib necklace represents some of the finest costume jewelry of the era. What immediately sets this necklace apart is its incredible size. Collectors refer to this oversized version as the gargantuan model, making it one of the most desirable variations ever produced. The design is packed with eye-catching details. Shimmering aurora borealis crystals create a rainbow-like sparkle, while colorful rhinestones in shades of green, pink, and orange add even more brilliance. But the true stars are the smooth oval cabochons, known by collectors as Easter eggs. Made from glass or porcelain, these unusual stones resemble beautifully painted eggs and give the necklace its unforgettable personality.
On a retail level, these necklaces routinely sell for between $800 and $1,000.
Oh, go Grandma. Oh my gosh. I thought maybe 100.
And I hope you wear it.
I do.
Excellent.
I love it.
Tiny enough to fit in the palm of your hand, this delicate pendant represents one of Russia's most cherished Easter traditions. Created around 1900, this miniature Easter egg was designed as both a piece of fine jewelry and a meaningful holiday gift. Throughout Imperial Russia, jeweled eggs symbolized hope, renewal, and resurrection, making them treasured keepsakes that were often worn or carried long after Easter celebrations had ended. Unlike larger decorative eggs intended for display, this example was crafted as an elegant pendant. Its luxurious materials immediately set it apart. The body is fashioned from solid gold and accented with sparkling diamonds, while a vibrant turquoise gemstone adds a striking splash of color.